welcome to Time Out With Us. My name is Kay, and today here with me are my lovely friends, MC, Molly, and Anna. So today's topic, I want to discuss how we feel about kids. Not everyone wants to have kids. Some people, they're still confused about kids. They don't know if they want kids or not. But some people, they just know that they want to have kids. So I just really want to have a discussion to understand, if you want to have kids, why do you want to have kids? And if you don't want to have kids, also why? So yeah, for me, I had this conversation earlier with someone, and I told him he said not to name him. And so we're having this conversation. I told him I'm just kind of stuck in the phase where well, I don't even know if it's a phase. I mean, I guess it's a phase, but I don't know if I want to have kids or not. And it's really because of the way I grew up, how I was treated, we weren't rich, we had to share a lot of stuff. And seeing my older siblings be parents, I just when a parent is bad and when a parent is good, but also everyone has their own parenting styles. Some people believe that you should spank your kids. Some people, they don't believe you should spank your kids and that it's wrong and that people should call CPS on you if you spank your kids, right? So I'm just at that point in my life where is it worth it to have kids? Because then you give birth to someone and you're with them for the rest of your life.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, and your body, as a female, our bodies go through so much when we have a kid, even after birth and stuff like that. You gotta do Kegels and so your organs don't fall out of your vagina. So yeah, I just think that there's a lot of risk when it comes to having babies, but at the same time it's really rewarding because my colleague was well, Kay, it's so rewarding to have kids. It's a different type of love, and I was yeah, I get that, but is it worth it though?
Wait, so your organ's gonna fall out your vajayjay?
Yeah, that's really rare, but it happens sometimes.
Oh my god, I never heard of that before.
Yeah, it happens sometimes because I think it's because you're pushing so hard that once it's after recovery it could happen.
So do you think that if you're constipated and you poop?
No, it's different. It's different. It's not the same thing as pushing out a baby. Yeah.
Apparently, it hurts a lot more than pooping. And when you have the baby, sometimes it rips that that skin that is between your vagina. I mean, am I able to say that?
Yeah.
Your vagina and your butthole. It rips that skin, and then it becomes one.
Yeah. And so that's when they have to sew you back up and everything. And there's this whole thing where it's what is the extra stitch, where men are oh, stitch her one extra stitch so that she's smaller, right? But then that hurts the lady even more because then that makes sex a lot more aggressive and it hurts because now she's smaller and it's something that shouldn't be practiced and it's pretty misogynistic to be give her an extra stitch so that she's small. What the says that? That's so disrespectful to your wife to say that.
I've never heard that before. So when they stitch you up and they have to take the shit out, we're not experts, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. Those are my questions right now.
I've never had kids, so I don't know. But it's just a bunch of stuff that you learn online. A lot of ladies put their stories out there. Where they got the extra stitch because they had a male doctor, who gave them the extra stitch, or their husband asked for it, or yeah. So it's a lot of stuff that goes into recovery that really makes me question if I even want to have kids, So yeah.
Yeah, I know I don't want to have kids because yeah, I don't want to have kids. You know this. Don't gas.
You tried to do a reaction. Sorry. No, I'm just kidding. I knew already.
After I saw your sister-in-law or your niece.
Oh, Clay, little sister.
Yeah, after I saw her scream, I was that's the reason why I don't want kids.
Yeah.
So really quick, I think it's really funny.
it was my birthday, and it was blowing out the candles, and my husband's little sister had like a tendency of like blowing out the birthday candle, which everyone don't like to have it. So when I was about to blow out the candle, my husband kind of like blocked her face, and then she went like Jurassic mode. She started like
She was
and
like,
it was a plastic plate.
She took the paper plate. She went.
She went punch it.
Oh my god.
And she was like, I was like, oh god.
Oh
It was
my
it's
God.
coming.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I can understand, like, you know, like, certain, like, you know, when you're a kid, like, certain time when you see a kid, like, being naughty, it makes you not want to have kids, like, yeah, okay, I don't want to have kids. But there's, like, the rewarding time when you're, like, with, like, the babies that are, like, you know, really, like,
Just like really chill.
Yeah.
Babies. Yeah.
and it just makes you like, aw, like, because Clay and I were, like, one day babysitting, like, on his little sibling niece and them,
Mhm.
and she was like, Clay and I were play fighting, and then she was like, can you stop being mean to my Molly?
Aw.
I know, see? That was like,
But I know myself. See, like it's somebody else's kid, and I know myself.
Yeah.
I was a troublemaker, so and I was a headache to my parents. So if I know that my kid's gonna be a headache to me too. So I'm not trying to have a headache child.
I
Yeah.
don't know, like, I think you just go back to what Casey said, like, it's like a different type of love, and that's like the type of love I want to experience. Like, that's why I want kids, because as my so-called nickname in our group is Mom.
Yeah. We call her mom.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Because she's old.
You should be calling Miss 7 days older than all of us.
8 days older.
Okay,
Almost a year older than me.
seriously. Calling me
She's
old
actually 18
now.
this year, y'all.
You wanna go? You wanna go at age now? You wanna go at age? You really wanna go?
You just old, bro.
You old.
Damn.
Continue.
But for real, to saying I'm I don't know, but like, yeah, it makes me want to have kids, because I know, like, I'm gonna love, like, my kid a lot, like, no matter, even if they are paying the butt, because I'm a pain in the butt to my mom, and I'm the youngest in my family, and I know for sure how I was bad as a kid, and, you know, growing up, I'm trying to, like, make those amends, but, like, no matter what, like, she was always there, like, through the bad and the good, and, yeah, like, that's something I want to experience.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm not trying to be there for nothing.
Yeah, because, like, when you have kids, like, you can't, like, go travel. Like, you know, you always got to think about, okay, what's going to happen to my kid? Like, who's going to babysit? Like, should I bring my kid? And now I got to pay extra for my kid. You got to bring a suitcase for your kid.
I gotta go traveling for the first 1 to 3 years so my kid is free. Because after that, we can't go traveling no more. You're an extra expense for me.
Yeah. You know, so, like, you got to think about that, too. Like, you got to think about saving up for your kid, like, all the food. Once you're 18, like, okay, like, are you going to have to pay out of pocket for the tuition, stuff like that? Like, or, like, what if, and, like, you know, like, I don't want to jinx anyone or, you know, but what if one day your kid dies before you? You know, now you have to pay their funeral expenses. And now it's a whole new heartbreak that you have to go through. So, for me, like, I don't know if I can ever go through that heartbreak, and also because I know I was a naughty ass kid, so yeah, like it's just a lot of stuff that I think about when it comes to having kids.
Dang, you guys are so negative.
It's not, it's just a lot of things I get to think about. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of things. Obviously, you're giving birth to this new human. You're giving birth to something, you know? But I don't think of it that way. I think of it as, like, you know, in the future, like, when you're old, you know, who's gonna take care of you if you have no kids, if you have no family, if you have no relatives, you know?
Senior
like,
center.
I can't go to no senior center.
My husband and I talked about that too, and he said that building a legacy with people, like, you know, like you don't necessarily have to have a kid to take care of you. Like, someone else can just take you under, you know.
Yeah,
care.
but when you become 60, they're gonna be 60, and then
No, I don't mean of the same age.
Oh.
I mean, like, taking someone and then, you know,
like
kinda
adopting.
mentor.
Oh.
No,
Like a
mentor.
mentee.
If you
Yeah,
go to
mentor,
the senior
mentor,
center
yeah.
too, like, they have, like, nurses, whatever, come take care, wipe your ass for you, feed you.
I know that, but, like,
Is it Nancy today?
we don't want to be. I don't want to grow up and just to live in a home, a senior center home. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to grow up. I want to be old. I want to do stuff with my family, with my relatives, my kids and my kids' kids and my kids' you know,
like your family.
Yeah, like your family, you know. For me personally, I do want kids. I think that even though there's like lots of things to think about having kids, I feel like the benefits outweighs the cons, and I don't know. I just want to build family, you know.
And like revisiting the you know, like traveling, like I don't know, like my sister, you know, have like my nephew who's 4 now, and she always takes him everywhere. She always wants to like take him everywhere we go traveling. And yeah, it's annoying because like, well, it's a girl, it's like, or it's just like, you know, we don't want no kids because we can't do much. But yeah, like I think you can still travel having kids because I mean, sure, they may be extra, but I think it's worth like to go through that experience with your kids too. Because I mean, for instance, you could go to Puerto Rico like so many times, but if you go with your kids, that's like a first time, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't see it as like me being negative. I see it as me like listing out the pros and the cons. Because like, you know, at one point, like, or like on one side, like I do want kids because I know it's a different type of love that I would never ever be able to experience with anyone else. You know, like it doesn't matter if like, and I know like Anna, you said, well, like you guys have talked about like just like mentoring, you know, like younger individuals, but that's not the same love as like having someone grow, you know, inside you and then birthing them and then, you know, having to raise them. Like that is a different type of love that I know I just could never experience with anyone or anything else. But at the same time, like it's really like, dude, like you gotta think about like all the things that happen. Like what if your kid you know, has this like incurable disease, or like the money that goes into it. Like what if like you lose your job one day and you can't afford, like you can't like afford to buy things for your kid anymore. Like I don't want my kid to grow up poor. I don't want my kid to ever think about when their next meal is coming. Why am I wearing the same clothes over and over again, mommy? You know, like, oh mom, well, how come I can't have like the nice things like the other, like those just stuff that like I grew up like questioning, and I just like would never want my kid to go through that. And like it's like really heartbreaking for me.
And you work hard so your kids can like have all those things.
But then like it's so much easier said than done, because what if like one day your house just like catches on fire, you lose everything?
the government.
Yeah.
You know,
it is true though, because like this year this year the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
I mean, not this year, last year the
Yeah.
pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And then everybody lost their job because of it.
That's
you know?
true.
And there were so many people running back and forth like, man, I don't have a job, I need to get a job because I can't provide for my kids now, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's something like that happens. And like, you guys are obviously in a good position where, you know, you got to keep your job because you could move your job online. But what about for all the people that are just working regular 9 to 5 and work at regular wage to keep, you know, their household and everything?
But I think it just go back to like family though. Like that's why like, you know, like why I want kids, so that like I have my family of my own, but then like I also have like, you know, like my mom and my siblings, like, you know, like it grow that family also, like you guys can keep helping each other, you know.
I guess everyone is in their own situation too though, because like you could cut off like your connection, you could burn every single bridge, and the only person that you have to take care of yourself is you because of it. So I guess it really depends on whatever situation that you're in
and what you want out of life, I guess.
Yeah. And if you have like 3 kids you have to take care of, and you no longer go to your mom, you no longer can talk to your sister, you don't have a brother that you can talk to, your dad is no longer in your life, who do you have to depend on? Is just yourself. So
I mean, they do have like daycare center.
They do, but they're very expensive.
Yeah, like
They're
not
extremely
everyone
expensive.
can afford them. Like I don't know, maybe it's because I grew up poor that like I think like, damn, do I really want to have kids? You know, because I'm afraid to go back to being poor. You know, like I don't want my kids to ever experience that.
I don't know though. Like I mean, I think, you know, like we all grew up poor, but then like I think my perspective growing poor, like bringing, you know, brought in a poor household, it makes me see like, you know, the more kids my mom had, the more like kids, like certain kids like my mom could rely on, you know. And that's kind of like how I see it. I don't know if I want like a big family like how my mom had, but then like you know, just having like someone to like rely on when you're older, like going back to what MC was saying, like, you know, you don't want like just random people taking care of you. You want like someone who you raise, and that way they could like also give that love back to you. And
they won't give that love back to you until they turn 18.
Yeah.
You gotta wait 18 years.
I don't know, I mean, like, but then I see my nieces and nephews, and like I like kind of like raise them too, like when they were kids, like I would just babysat them a lot and everything. So like I think, well, I mean, even if I don't have kids, I still have my nieces and nephews though, because I have like a lot of siblings. I come from like a huge family, so I have like a bunch of nieces and nephews, right? And so like I guess like to me, I'm like, but shouldn't my nieces and nephews be enough? Like when it comes to me getting old, and you know, if they have to take care of me, like I would hope that my nieces and nephews would take care of me because I'm their aunt.
Girl, did you put some on your vagina?
Well, she did like take care of them when they were younger. Like she grew that connection with them when they were younger.
You just have to maintain it throughout the years then, because even if you babysit them from like birth to like 10 years old, after that they grow up, they become their own individuals. Like you lose that connection if you don't maintain that connection or that relationship with them. Like when you're old, they're not gonna take care of you, you know, because they won't remember you.
They don't feel like an obligation to take care of you. I mean, it's not like you have to though, because they're family, but like they won't feel like a need to want to take care of you.
Like, you know, going back, our grandma used, like, I think everybody grandma used to watch them as old, but then, like, you know, your grandma start getting older, and as you get older, you kind of, like, honestly, you know, you lose that relationship with your grandma. Like, yeah, sometimes you go visit them here and there, but then, like, it's just, like, the same, like, oh, you're just, like, my auntie who used to watch me a lot back in the days, but then, you know, that's because I'm a kid, I'm not obligated to you, but, like, yeah, I mean, you know, creating that relationship, but I just feel like, you know, having, like, your own kid is what makes it more special though, because you literally raise them from baby to 18, and they're always gonna need you in their life. Like they're always gonna rely on like the mom and dad, and it's just like something always nice to look forward to, like big family gatherings. Oh, my kid's coming to see me. I haven't seen them in a long time after like them growing up, and I just, you know, like in the future, like it just makes things way like much more meaningful
and easier on you.
Okay, so I have a question. Because my younger sister asked me this question. Because she doesn't want to have kids. Like she knows for sure. Like she's like, yeah, she knows for sure she does not want to have kids. So she asked me this question, right? And so the first question was, why do you want to have kids, right? And then, you know, like, and I think this question applies more to you, MC, because you said, well, I want to have kids because, you know, like when I grow old, I want someone to be there to take care of me. But isn't that a selfish reason to have kids?
That's not the only reason why I want to have kids. Like, if let me clarify. If you're thinking that's the only reason why I want to have kids, then maybe I didn't explain myself correctly, right?
Yeah.
So when I say I want to have kids, it's because I want to raise someone. You know, I want to build a family. I want to do all the good things that comes with raising a kid. You know, but I'm also thinking about them. You know, like. I'm just not gonna have one kid. I want them to have brothers. I want them to have sisters. I want them to have their own family, you know. I mean, have like each other to rely on, you know. Like I want them to be raised in a good household with like food on the table, clothes in their bags, shelter, everything, you know. Like I want all that stuff, you know. It's not just mainly for the fact that if I die when I'm older, I'm gonna be so old that I can't wipe my own butt, you know, and I need them to do it for me. No. That's not the main reason. I want kids because I want to build a family with my significant other. You know, and a benefit to having a lot of kids is that they will take care of you when you're old. A benefit to having kids is that like you get to build
I don't think that's a given though.
Yeah, it's not a given, but that's how I'm gonna try to raise my kids. You know, like and if knock on wood, but if they turn out to be bad kids or turn out to be kids that like are serial killers or things like that, you know, like then that's a different struggle that I would have to go through as their mother, you know.
So I think I have an answer for your question. Okay, like so I don't think it's selfish to want to have your kids take care of you when you're old, but then again, you know, as kids get older, they have the option of, you know, like, there's always going to be an option of, do I want to take care of my mom and dad
Mm-hmm.
because I am already they're probably gonna have their own family too, and it's not like you're gonna force them to take care of you, like, and if you can see that, you know, honestly, like if you know your kids don't want to watch you because they're too focused with their family, then I think you know, I'm not a mom, but from a mom perspective, that they will kind of be hurt, but I think they will understand too.
Yeah.
And just because like they probably went through what their kid went through.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's selfish.
So I guess my question is, you know, like nobody asked to be born, right? Just the way nobody asked to be aborted, right? So, and like a lot of things that we do, like we do for ourselves. Like you go out to the store, you buy something for yourself because you want it or you need it. That's, you know, you're being selfish for yourself. Like you're taking care of yourself. So I guess that's why I asked the question, is it selfish to have kids? Because nobody's saying, hey, pick me, I want to be born. You know, pick me, put me in your tummy for 9 months, and then raise me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think that's a whole different, like, theory, like, to think about, you know, like...
Yeah, a whole different topic.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not selfish if you really want one, because, you know, like, there are some people who are struggling, like, they want to have kids, but they're struggling to have kids.
Right.
But it's like, yeah, it's not, I don't think it's selfish. I think it is selfish for people who, you know, didn't plan it and they're not prepared and they're blaming their
The
kids.
kid, yeah.
Yes, I would say
I
those
didn't even
people are
want
selfish.
you.
Yeah. Those are selfish people, and hello, people,
Use protection.
use protection.
Yeah.
But yeah, like those are the people I would say are very selfish. Then,
Yeah.
Cause
yeah, I would have to agree on that. Yeah.
and I hate those people the most too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I hate them, but
I hate them to the core.
You know, sometimes when it happens, you don't have the money to abort, and when in the chance that you did want to abort, you know, you just can't do it. And then the other way to do it is also adoption, putting the kid up for adoption.
But I just don't think. See, that goes to case theory of selfish though, cause like
maybe it was just, you know, everybody does the do, like.
But you're bringing you're bringing a life. Like, it's not your life anymore. You're bringing a life in. Like, I don't care if, like, you didn't plan it or whatever. You brought a life in. You are responsible for them for no matter what. And you are selfish and you put them in adoption because they didn't ask to be born, and it's your fault for, like, not using protection. I'm sorry. I'm just very heated with
go ahead.
this.
I have something to say after you, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but no matter what, I'm always gonna, like, you brought a life in. You don't have the option of abandoning them. Like, that's not, I guess for me, that's not an option. You stick with them no matter what. Because you choose to be stupid. And I'm sorry if I'm hurting anybody's feelings, but I am just strongly, like, against, like, abortion. And I'm strongly against, like, you not being there for your kid just because you're young and you still want to do and you wasn't ready. Like, no. Like, that's what you get for thinking stupid then. But go ahead.
I think you are very, very, very pro-life.
Which is fine.
Yeah, which is fine.
It's okay.
I was gonna ask you guys, are you guys pro-choice or pro-life?
I'm pro-choice.
Pro-choice.
Me too.
Yeah. See, I am pro-choice as well, and I don't think that it's selfish to have a kid and give it up to adoption, because you as a mother know that you cannot take care of this kid and you want to give that child the best life ever. So sometimes the only option is to give them away to someone who will love them better, who will care for them better, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think that's selfish.
Yeah.
I think it's selfish to
keep it and not be able to provide for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like my fish.
I just think that, like, if you can't provide, grow up and provide. Start doing something. Go work at McDonald's.
But what if, right, worst case scenario, she was raped and now she has a baby. And now she has, like,
I get those
incest. What if it's incest rape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, I don't know. Like, I'm still, I don't know how to answer those. Yeah, those are very touchy topics.
Yeah.
But no matter what, it's a life that it's coming out of you. And, you know, I think it's just, like, horrible for the person that, even if it was an accident or it was, like, you know, I still think it's a life that came out of you. It's a part of you, you know.
But it wasn't your choice.
Even if it was or was not your choice, like,
It 100% was not her choice to have the kid. Like, to get, raped, and then for her to have a kid and she didn't have money for adoption? Maybe she was a kid herself.
I just think,
What if she's like 15
or 12?
and or 12?
Because 12-year-olds get their periods.
And
Those
she
are all
can't-
worst case scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
worst case scenario, I don't know, like, I'm still like, think you're bringing your life too. Yeah, it's your life. I get it. Bad decision happened, but for me, I still strongly feel like.
So what would you do if you, I don't know if this should go in it, but what would you do if you got raped and you had to tell Clayton that you were pregnant with that rapist child?
I'll still keep it.
I bet you he wouldn't.
But I bet you wouldn't love as much as if you had a baby with Clayton.
Yeah.
No,
Yes,
I agree
yes,
too,
because you were
100%,
raped, you were traumatized.
y'all can't say like.
But you can't say
But
for sure either.
you can't say no either.
But I know for sure, no matter what.
No, because it's never happened to you. So
Exactly, but then we can talk about this scenario. But I know me though. Like
Can we
I
stop
know.
pointing? This is
Yeah.
Me.
I started pointing too. And I was like, what
If worst case scenario, if I was raped, right, and I was to have a baby of my rapist, right, I
said rapey.
have a baby from my rapist. Every time I look at that baby, I would be like, damn, I got raped. You know, like so much negative thoughts would come out of it. Versus if I was to have a kid with Thule and we have this perfect kid, perfect family, and that's a kid that we planned, we wanted, like. But obviously, there's two different perspectives in that kid that you see.
Like if you have that kid where you got raped from, and then you have your own kid too, you would obviously treat one better than the other.
Yeah, and you would not neglect, but neglect the other kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you would feel some type of way looking at your other kid.
Yeah.
I don't know, like.
Because it's a mistake that happened. It's something that happened to you,
Hypothetical.
Yeah, hypothetical.
I don't know, like I think I would still love them no matter what. Like
Yeah, I mean, yeah, duh. Like you would still love
like
them. no matter what.
I was still I mean honestly we're always gonna have that one kid that we love a little bit more than the other, but I think
And that's what we're saying. Like,
but in those case scenarios though, I would still love them no matter what. I would not think that they're a mistake. I would not look at them with hate. I would not look at them with like, oh, you're my rapist, whatever. Like
Yeah, but you can have your side, but Clayton will also see it as.
well, I don't care what Clayton thinks. Like,
but that doesn't. But
it
it doesn't
doesn't
matter
happen
because
to
the baby
relationships.
is growing up in that household. Clayton will always think your
You're not
daddy
my kid.
raped your mom, like raped
Yeah.
the mom.
well,
like
shit. I mean, if we have kids and that. We're just saying hypothetically.
Yeah.
But if we have kids though, like still like if I have to choose, obviously I will always choose my kids over no matter what. Cause I pushed them out, I brought them to life, and I won't abandon them. That's the thing, like I will not abandon them just because I know for sure if like hypothetically if something like that happened to my mom, like or no, hypothetically if something like that happened, like I would want like my mom to like love me no matter what because like but then
Yeah.
And then it begs the question: what if your rapist comes back and says, you have my kid? I want to be in my kid's life.
yeah, because rapists can do that. Judges have allowed rapists to be able to see their kids and be a part of their kids' life.
But it's all hypothetical. It is not real.
All hypothetical. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think in some cases it's just different different for different girls. Like, obviously if you're 15 and you're pregnant or you got raped and all that stuff, like it's a hard life and hard situation to be in, And you as a 20-some-year-old, you want kids. So like it's different girls from different perspectives,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
still
true.
pro-life though.
I think I'm pro-choice because I feel like girls deserve to like decide if they want to have kids or not want to have kids,
Mhm.
like it all just falls under like should I get my tubes tied, like
Mhm.
sometimes like I think the law is like you can't get your tube tied until you have 2 kids or something like
yeah,
that.
you have to be in Wisconsin. You have to be 25. You have to have 2 kids.
Yeah.
One of them has to be a girl. One of them has to be a boy.
Yeah.
I think it's stupid that one has to be girl, one has to be boy on that option because what if it has to be 2 girls or 2 boys? Like,
I think it's stupid that they're turning away people who want to get their tubes tied.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
period. Yeah.
it's their body, it's their choice,
Yeah.
Like I don't know, just like how people want to change their sex, they can go ahead and do it. People who want to like do all other stuff, plastic surgery. They can go ahead and get it. Like, what is the difference? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it's like you said, it's their choice, it's their body. Like, you can have as many second opinions as you want, but if it's something that you want, then you can do it. And if you do it, you live with it.
Yeah, for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And one reason why I'm pro-choice is because, and I heard this thing like a long time ago online, and I thought like, damn, like that's like really powerful, is that when you stop safe abortions, you actually promote dangerous abortions. Dangerous abortions where women can end up scarring themselves or sodomizing themselves or hurting themselves because they're trying to do their own abortions at home, or they end up dying, you know? So does your life not matter? Once, you know, like, does a woman's life not matter because she wants to have an abortion and her country or her state has said that's illegal, whether you've been raped, or whether it was unplanned, or whether it was planned and you just end up not wanting, or whether the fetus is going to have a lot of, you know, like mental, you know, like issues, or like is going to have like an incurable disease once they're born. I just think that, you know, another reason why I just really support is because I think safe abortions should be an option, and everyone's lives matter. The woman and the baby.
Yeah, and the child, yeah.
So, yeah. That's another reason why I support it.
You literally touched on everything that I wanted to say. Like when you were talking about how you were pro-choice in giving up the child. I was like, 100%. I think that's right. Because why would you keep the child?
Yeah.
And then have to take care of them and take care of yourself, knowing that you can't even take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like not fair to the child at all.
No, I think that's selfish.
Yeah.
That's like the most selfish thing to do, is to know that you cannot provide for a child,
But you end up keeping
but you still end up keeping it.
Yeah.
And or to have a child and then
neglect it.
Yeah, neglect it, or like, you know, let's say like for, you know, hypothetically someone like has a child, but then the lady you know, has like a mental illness, you know, and then she mistreats her child because she's not taking her meds and stuff like that. You know, like, it's just stuff like that like makes me really think, okay, like adoption, like putting every kid for adoption is okay. You know, like abortion is okay. You know, like, because that is the most selfish thing to do.
Yeah. And like it poses another question where it's like your kid grows up and your kid figures out that, you know, they were adopted, or they find out that they were adopted and they're trying to find their real mom or the real dad, and they don't want to get in touch with them, and it's like, you know, like, why did my mom or dad not want me? And it's like, and what if they don't want to meet me, you know? I don't know.
So for those that don't want kids, would you guys ever think about adopting kids?
We thought about it, yeah. And that's why we were talking about how we want a mentor-mentee relationship with someone. Because when you adopt a kid, essentially it's like that. Except the only difference is that they didn't pop out of you. So, yeah.
So I have a question. So say you know, you want to, you have your own kid and then you want to adopt, but then, you know, and your significant other said, oh, like, yeah, I am up to, like, you know, like, adoption. But then later on you see them, like, you know, loving your kid more than, what would you do in that position?
I think that happens very often. It's something that a lot of people, like, don't expect or prepare for, you know, that sometimes...
Or they don't acknowledge at all.
Sometimes these feelings just come up. I mean, it's a tough situation to be in. I've never been in that situation, but I know for sure I want to adopt. And I think I will love my kid I birthed and my adoption kid the same, you know. I think that there's a lot of kids in the world that needs home, needs a mom, needs a dad. And, you know, if you have space in your house, if you have room to love them, you know, like, I think it's good to adopt.
What would you do though if, like, you could see that your husband?
I mean, that's hard, bro.
I'm tattletale.
I'd be like, bro, like, you need to have a serious conversation before you adopt first. Like, you need to be on the same page. You guys need to understand where each other's coming from. You need to talk about these things with your significant other before you adopt.
But then, like, say he was okay at the time, but then later you can see that like it's affecting like your adopted kid, and you know, what would you do? Like, would you
He's like,
kick him out? Bye. No, kick the husband. Kick the
husband. I know, I did too. I was like,
not the kid. Kick the husband out.
Mhm.
Like, dude, we talked about this way before we got the kid. Like, we went through all the steps together. We did all this work, you know, just for you to feel some type of way afterwards, you know? Like,
sleep in the car tonight.
yeah, like,
it's not you sleeping
you
in the
need
car.
to grow up.
You in the car
you know?
leaving.
Yeah.
Like, that, the significant other needs to grow up
Yeah.
and do better, you know, be better.
Yeah, I think that's a conversation that needs to be had with your partner.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, okay, so like I've thought about like adopting kids because like for as long as I could remember, like I've always wanted to adopt kids, but then like just a few years ago I realized like I could never adopt a kid because I just know for a fact that if I adopt a kid and then I have like my own kid, right, like my own biological kid, I would for sure love my biological kid more than I love my adopted kid, and that's just like the most selfish thing to do, you know, and I just like would never put a kid through that. And I feel like, you know, like earlier Molly, you're like, well obviously you know, everyone has like their favorite kid, but I feel like there's no such thing as favorites, and there shouldn't be anything like there should never be anything like, oh, like I have a favorite kid. Obviously you're going to click with your kids in different ways.
Yeah.
Right? Some kids might be more methodic, some kids might be more independent, you know, some kids might just up and leave, right? You know, so like to say, oh, I have a favorite kid, like that's selfish.
I don't know. I think
that's selfish.
I see a lot of family where I can say, okay, this was a favorite. Okay, they like this is the favorite one. I don't know. Like
they
just
can sense it too.
yeah.
Like I knew growing up in a household full of 7 kids, even though I was the oldest, I could sense who the favorite one
right.
was.
Like no matter what, I think
and that hurt me.
yeah. But I just don't
Because we
think
all
parents.
experience
Yeah,
that.
I just don't think like. But parents don't do like intentionally.
I don't know,
like-
man. My parents love all of us the same way, bro. I grew up in a loving household.
Yeah, see, like MC, like she's saying that her experience is different from ours.
Yeah.
Whereas we're saying, oh, we grew up in a big family, like we knew who was the favorite son,
I
who was
had
the favorite daughter.
there's 8 of us in my family, and I feel like everyone was loved equally. Everyone was given the same opportunities, like being after school, staying after school, and my parents have to pick each one of us up on different days, you know? Like, that didn't stop my parents from loving all of us the same, you know? Like, one brother didn't get more things, one sister didn't get more things, you know? Like, I grew up in a family where everybody shared everything, and we were okay with it, and we all loved each other for it. We didn't, like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to the store today, I'm gonna pick you to go with me all the time only, you know?
Like when I say favorite, it could be like different type of favorite, you know. It could be like, oh, you my favorite kid because you helped me, or you my favorite like because you get like.
But I think you mean like just clicking with your kids differently though. It's not playing favorites. You're just clicking with your kids differently.
Because for me, it was more like, oh, it was like that at the store thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna take you to the store with me because you don't complain as much.
Yeah, like, you know, for me, like, it was kind of like that too, where my parents were like, oh, I'm gonna take your brothers because they're boys, you know, you girls have to stay home.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's, and then, like, I don't know, like, again, like, we can sense it, and, like, as a kid growing up, like, I was always, like, arguing with my mom. I was like, I know who your favorite kids are, and I know I'm not your favorite kid. You know, it's like,
or like whenever we would get like technology, like laptop and computers or PS4s, like one person would get it in the whole entire family, and I'd be like, damn, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
And then my dad would feel bad because he realizes what he did, so he'd be like, okay, I'll get you a game.
Like my oldest sister had like a family of 4, and you know, like she learns like from like, you know, my parents' mistake, and I think that's something like, you know, I'm gonna bring too. Like I'm gonna learn like what not to do and what to do for my kids and how to live a better life. That's why I want kids too. So because I know I will like be a better, not saying, you know, I'm gonna be a better person than my mom, but but I know like to learn from my parents' mistake and give my kid what I didn't have, because you know I want to give that love to like my own kids, and you know, not just like say I have favorites too, but like she had 4 kids and she loved them like all uniquely, individually, and you know, I think like out of my siblings, like I love how like she brought up her kids because that's something I could visually see myself. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's just coming from me. I want kids though.
Yeah. I just don't think that like it's a good thing to be like you're my to openly say I'm gonna have favorite kids, or like, oh, you're my favorite kid, because
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I know I have some favorite nieces.
yeah, we know, Molly, we know.
But that's because they're like,
so are you gonna
they're
make
not
that your kids do that?
No, but again, they're not coming.
Yes, she is.
But you already have that
Yeah.
trait. You already portrayed that trait.
They're like
yourself.
not my kid, but like they're just like, that's just because I'm not close to all my nieces and nephews. And the one that I am close to, I grew up creating that relationship with them though. That's why.
But then you can't say they're your favorites if you don't have a relationship with your other nieces and nephews.
Well, I have favorite niece I choose just because I can see like, they as a kid, I can see myself in them. That's why. They're like, I can see myself in her, which is why she's my favorite, because she's the one that I want to like grow up different, I want to make sure like they won't grow up like, me, or like they could be a better me. So
but
that's
you don't
why
want that for the rest of your nieces and nephews?
no, because the rest of my nieces and nephews, they all grow up like, they get that love like probably how my chin gets, so they don't that's why like for when I say favorite, it's because I want to give them more.
It's because they're not loved the way you think they should be loved.
So I want to give them more, and that's why I say they're like my favorites, not because I choose them to be my favorite, but because if I can see like them going through like certain aspect in life that I went through, then it makes me want to be there more for them. Not that I'm not there for all my nieces and nephews. I am all there for them, but then like the one I can see like maybe a small part of myself, I want to be there for them.
Mm-hmm.
I have something to confess.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like indifferent about like kids. Like if I were to get pregnant, then I would have it. But like if I don't get pregnant, then I don't care either.
Yeah.
And the reason why I came to the conclusion of not having a kid was because when I was manifesting my future or thinking of what I want for my future, none of it involved a kid.
Yeah.
Like everything that I wanted to do, like all the goals I wanted to achieve, none of them involved a kid.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying I don't want to have kids, because it was never one of the goals of mine in my future to have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. So those questions. Where do you see yourself in 1, 5, 10?
Yeah.
Like I don't think I'm not thinking about like kids and my goals. But I think if I were to have a kid, like that's where I start planning for the day one. I knew like I would know, because like they're not my goal, but I know I want kids. But the minute if I ever know that I have kids, then I'm gonna like what's the word? Do you know what I'm thinking about? Like
Evaluate?
Yeah, reevaluate. Thank you. I would reevaluate like my whole goal just to fit them in there, because I know I want them.
But I feel like if you want to have kids, so you should plan ahead of time. Like, why would you plan it as soon as you find out you're pregnant?
Oh, right now my goal is to make as much money and financially secure. That way, whatever throws at me, I'm financially ready though. That's the thing. So
Okay.
yeah, like I'm not just thinking about like kids, but I'm thinking like for myself. Like I know I want to be financially like prepared, not just for like having a kid, but even for like my family. And if a kid's in there, then great. Like I'll just throw them in and reevaluate my whole plan to fit them in there, so that way like we're not all struggling, because I'm already like prepared. Yeah.
So like in a way you are planning for a kid, because you're thinking, okay, kid equals I need more money. So that's why, okay.
You know how they say that, when you create goals, you should also create like smaller goals in order to reach them?
Yeah.
A lot of my smaller goals are like things that I need to do with my time.
Yeah.
And so I just don't have the time to give to another kid to raise them with trying to achieve my goal in the steps of it. Like, it's just like, I know when my mom got pregnant with my baby sister, it was obviously unplanned. And she was like, I don't know what to do, because we are in the middle of our finances right now. We're trying to figure out what we want to do, if we want to move, if your dad wants to quit his job. We don't know what we want to do about that. And And so I was like, yeah, like, you know, you guys are in the middle of planning, and then all of a sudden you guys have a kid. Like, that's another expense that you have to put into it. So
Anna's point makes sense, makes a lot of sense, is valid, is understandable, you know, because in life, people want different things out of life, you know. You want, some people grow up in life and they just want to be rich, you know, and that's what they go for. Some people grow up in life and they want to like have a lot of kids, and that's what they grow for. That's how they become, you know. I think Anna makes a good point, because she knows what she wants in life. She knows that a kid is not any aspect of her life, and like she's able to make that clear to the person that she's married, you know. So I think that's understandable. Like, yeah, everybody goes through different things in life that makes them want different things in life, you know.
I mean, keep in mind too, this podcast is not about like trying to convince a person to like want or to not want a kid. Just thrown out there.
yeah, we're just debating.
Yeah. I think it's good to know what you want to. Like, if you obviously don't see it, then, you know, it's like, you know.
Okay, Molly.
I don't know how to close this. I ended with
We
a thumbs
want
up.
you
To have kids.
But yeah, I want to have like my own family. That's just it. Like,
Yeah, same. I just want to, you know, settle down and build a family, raise kids, live a good life.
Yeah.
And my definition of good life is that.
Yeah.
So that's my definition of living a good life.
Yeah. It still begs the question, because every single time you guys say, I want kids, I want this, I want that, all I can think about is, damn, is that selfish to want it? Like, to want something?
Is it selfish for you to want to have food on the table? Is it selfish
But
for
that's
you
a
to
need.
want?
Yeah, that's a need.
Okay,
I guess it's
so
true.
is it selfish? Like, is it selfish to want a pet?
Because you want it. Animals were never
don't need it,
domesticated. Animals were never domesticated until we
domesticated them.
until we needed farm animals to help, you know, until we needed to drink milk, you know. Until
When
we
I
needed
say
to help.
pet, I meant like just dogs.
Yeah, no, but dogs were never domesticated.
dogs
though.
are wild.
Cats were
Yeah.
never domesticated. They were all wild.
I don't think it's selfish to give love. Like,
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
But then you give love and you also want love, though.
yeah, you give love, but like, okay, it depends on the type of people. Okay, so for me, I like love my mom and my dad, right? I love my brothers and my sisters, and I do a lot of things for them. I love my friends, you know, but like I
She
don't.
finally said she loves us, guys. Oh my god.
But I don't expect like
that love and return.
that love in return, you know.
You really
Like,
don't expect your parents to love you back.
No, because
It's
like
their option if they.
like
So wait,
because
if parents stop loving you, like right now, like today,
I would be sad, I would be hurt, yeah, and I would feel all those emotions that I'm feeling, you know.
you'd probably be like, I don't love you either. Shit.
Yeah, but I would say that out of pettiness, you know, like I don't love you too, shit, you know. But like
That's not how you feel.
I mean, like that's obviously I'm gonna be hurt, and sometimes emotions like are super exaggerated because you're hurt, you know.
Yeah.
But like it's not. I don't think it's selfish to like give your love away to those. Give love that you have away to like your friends, your family, your relatives, your kid. You know, like I don't think it's selfish to
Right.
love someone.
You're right. I think expectation has to do with it too.
Yeah.
Because like if you love someone, you expect them to love you back.
Yeah.
And it's not always that way.
Yeah. It's not always that way. You know, sometimes as a parent you love your kids, but your kids don't love you back, you know, but you still love them, you know. Like it just goes back to like what you believe, you know. Like for example, in Christianity, right? I read a book about a guy who is really religious, right? And he hears God, and God's telling him, you know, hey, I want you to go love that person, right? So he goes and he falls in love with that person. That person's a prostitute, and he's like falling in love with him, giving her all this conditional love, but she doesn't love him back. So he's telling God, praying to him, like, why are you telling me to love this person when that person doesn't love me back? And then God is saying, now you know how I feel, because God loves us so much, but sometimes we don't love him back, you know. But at the end of the day, he still loves us, you know. So I mean, it just comes back to that perspective. For me, it just comes back to that perspective. You know, if you have love to give, then it's not selfish for you to give away.
Y'all so nice. Like if I love someone and someone didn't love me back, I would be so mad.
Yeah, I wouldn't give them the time of day.
Yeah, I would be like, okay, bye, Felicia. Like, I don't know, like if
Wasted energy
Yeah,
on my
yeah,
side.
you know, like if one of my parents stopped loving me, I'll be like, wow, like I'm your fucking kid and you don't love me anymore. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I don't know.
So really quick, if your parents stopped loving you, like what would you do? Would you just
I would be mad at them.
but
And
you wouldn't disown them though, right?
I
you
wouldn't.
would still love them though.
No,
because
I
they're your
wouldn't.
parents.
I wouldn't love them anymore. Like if
You
someone
wouldn't love them
doesn't,
the way that you used to.
yeah, like if someone like doesn't love me the way like they used to, or like the way like I want them to love me, like why would I waste my time on them?
So you could love a dog and the dog don't love you back. So, like, would you still love the dog?
I'd be pissed
No.
at the dog.
That's not my dog anymore then. That's a stray dog. Like what?
Like, you don't appreciate me? I give you food, I give you water, I give you shelter.
Yeah, I mean, but that's why they call dogs like a man's best friend. It's because like dogs give you love back. Like, yeah, that's why people want to have dogs.
I don't know. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, so I don't know. I disagree with that so much, Kay. Cause like you know, as a kid, like you know, like my dad, like will love will love us, like
Yeah.
show us.
Yeah.
And you know, like the older we get, like you know how like you know all those like Mo OGs like going to Thailand doing all those crap.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like yeah, at one point, I thought I stopped loving my dad, but you know, I never stopped loving my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just more like we grew apart. But then you know, like as I'm getting older and I know how to start thinking, and I'm just like I don't care whether
Yeah.
my dad loved me or not. I think it's more like he gave me life and I would still be there for my dad no matter what. And I think, you know, like, as he started getting older too, and he could see like, okay, like, you know, these are the people who actually loves me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he started like reciprocating that love back. And
Mhm.
I think, you know, as a parent, you're always gonna learn, and
Mhm.
and as you get older too, you're gonna learn. And I just don't think like you just don't love them anymore like that, or you don't love them the way you used to. I think you just have to find that love again. And
But I also think that's out of obligation and out of respect for our elders, though, because like we're taught to like respect our elders. We're taught that you're obligated to take care of your elders as well. So it's not just love, but it's also respect and obligation. Like,
oh girl, I don't respect my dad like that.
oh, okay.
Yeah, but you know, no matter what, like this is the man who like gave me life, and I appreciate him for like you know giving me as much as he can.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because again, like if it wasn't for them, we'd probably be in Thailand right now. And all of those stuff, like they did it, like you know, like for a better life for the kids. And
Yeah, I mean, like I respect that and I get that, you know, but like I reciprocate the same amount of love that my dad gives me. Like, I love my dad, but my love caps somewhere, you know, because like why would I spend like XYZ amount of extra time?
True
you
love
know?
is unconditional.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's something that you don't cap.
yeah,
That's how I feel. I feel like
I agree.
But I think you only can find that with certain type of people.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And I was just about to say that, like, there are certain types of people that my love is unconditional for, and there's certain type of people that, like, if something goes wrong, that I don't love you no more. Like,
Mhm.
ex-boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you love, when you're in love, when you love them unconditionally, but when you guys break up, you don't love them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I
yeah.
think that it kind of hits on the point of like, if your parents were to stop loving you today, you would love them differently. Not in the same way that you
Yeah.
used to. You would still love them, obviously, but not in the way that you used to.
Yeah.
Like, you
And-
would still
yeah,
care for them.
I
and
see
care for
that.
them.
yeah, you know, because like my love for my dad caps at a certain point, but then out of obligation, out of respect, if he gets old and he needs someone to wipe his ass, of course I'm gonna go and wipe his ass.
Yeah.
You know, if he's like on his deathbed and the doctor is like, I need someone to make a decision right now,
Right.
you know, like of course I'm gonna be there out of respect, out of obligation, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean that I love my dad so much. Like it doesn't mean that.
Right. Like, you're not going to go play softball with him because
Girl, what
he's
type of
there for
Asian
a kid.
people?
I just an example.
Come on.
Where do you see any Asian people play
You're
softball?
not gonna go to a softball game with him because he's a coach for kids or some shit.
Yeah, you know, like it's just like I just know how much I love people, and I just know that even though I don't love them, I still respect them. I should still be there for them and
So
give them what
when
they
you
need.
say cap, help me understand that a little bit more.
Like my love. Okay, so like, I love my dad because yeah, like, obviously, like, his sperm. You know, like I'm his sperm. We're all sperms, guys.
Okay, let me explain it this way. I project how I want to be treated and how I want to be loved to another person.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't love me in that way, then
you're not gonna feel that.
yeah, like I tell you guys how I want to be treated through the words that I say, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for you, like, the way that I project to you is the way that Donnie and Clayton project to each other, right? But my projection towards MC and K will be different because of your connection to Clayton and Donnie.
That's fun. Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of, like, that's what she means by cap.
Yeah. Like if my dad died, of course I would cry, right? But if my mama died, girl, I'm a wreck. Like that's what I mean when I say my love caps. Like, of course I love, and of course out of obligation, respect, I would be there till like the day they die. But just know that, like, when you die, there's like a certain amount of tears that's gonna come up.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
I think there's all different types of love. Like, there's love of family, love of friends, and love of like boyfriend, girlfriend, love of husband, love of all that stuff. Like, all those are different types of love. You don't love your mom the same way you love your husband, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't love your kid the same way as like you love your husband, you know?
Mhm.
Like, it's all different types.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in with us and listening to our deep thoughts, our morals, and our beliefs. I think this was a really interesting topic. It brought out a lot of, heated arguments, but also very deep and thought-provoking stuff. So we appreciate you tuning in with us every week. Bye.
Deep thoughts.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't
I
know you were
just want
polite.
you guys to
I mean,
know
yeah.